to say. Let's talk in English. 10 minutes every day. Let's talk in English. 10 minutes every day. That's the way.
Welcome to Let's Talk in English, friends. Today, we are going to learn some great words and phrases that you can use. I'm your teacher, Nathan, and I'm going to help you learn those words and phrases. Today, our topic is still food, and we are studying the same lesson, Let's Eat Out. Let's eat out. Now, where do you go out to eat, Katie?
Well, I really like to eat Chinese food, so I often go to Chinese food restaurants. There are a lot by my apartment. Hi everyone, my name is Katie and I am your other LTE teacher. We need to get ready for today's lesson. So find your Let's Talk in English magazine and turn to today's Let's Begin. You can read it with Nathan right now.
Let's begin. Ken and Mark ate steak with Wei Qiang. They needed to use knives and forks and good Western table manners. But Mr. Wei didn't know some things. Mr. Wei shouldn't start eating until everyone has their food. He shouldn't reach across the table, and he should put his napkin on his lap.
Well, this sounds like it will be an interesting lesson, so let's go to conversation A right now.
I had a good lunch today.
Did you eat with the reporter from China?
Wei Qiang? Yes, he's visiting again.
We ate at Sam's Steakhouse. Mr. Wei wanted a steak.
Sam's has good steaks.
Yes, and we enjoyed it. But someone needs to talk to Mr. Wei about his table manners.
I will, but I didn't want to embarrass him at lunch.
Ken had a special lunch today. Who did he eat with, Katie?
Well, Ken ate with the reporter from China. His name is Wei Qiang. Ken says he's visiting again.
That's right. And Ken says they ate at Sam's Steakhouse. There was a key word there that we need to talk about. Steak. Steak. Steak is meat that is beef. In Chinese, it is called 牛排.
Steak comes from cows. A steak is a big piece of meat. It's a very popular meal in America and especially in Texas.
Yes, because they have a lot of cows in Texas.
Yes, they do. Do you like to eat steak, Nathan?
Well, I don't eat steak very often, but I do really like a good steak. Well, friends, we learned in our conversation that someone needs to talk to Mr. Wei about his table manners.
That's right. He must not have good table manners.
Well, Katie, how do you know he must not have good table manners? I mean, that's not fair. The conversation doesn't say that.
Well, Mark says that he didn't want to embarrass Mr. Wei at lunch. You usually get embarrassed when you do something wrong. So we know that Mr. Wei did something wrong at lunch.
Oh, I get it. You're right. He must have had bad table manners. I wonder what he did wrong.
Well, let's move on to conversation B and find out.
Are Western table manners very different from Chinese table manners?
Well, when you eat Chinese food, you use chopsticks.
And when you eat Western food, you use knives and forks.
That's right.
And you wait to eat until everyone gets their food.
But Mr. Wei started as soon as he got his food.
That isn't very polite.
No, it's not.
Megan starts conversation B with a question. Are Western table manners very different from Chinese table manners? And we have a key word there. Western. Western. When we use the word Western here, we are talking about the western part of the world, like North and South America.
That's right. And like we learned today, there are many differences between the western and eastern parts of the world.
Our conversation says that table manners are different, and the clothes that we wear are different, and even the foods we eat are different.
That's right, too. And like we learned yesterday, you use chopsticks when you eat Chinese food. But Katie, what do you use when you eat Western food?
Well, one of our key words yesterday was fork. When you eat Western food, you usually use a fork to eat. But as we learned today, you can also use a knife to eat, and that's our next key word. Knife. Knife. A knife is something that you use to cut food.
That's right. Now, a knife is usually very sharp, so be careful when you use one to eat. And you should be careful where you're standing, Katie.
You are right, Nathan. That's dangerous. And friends, one knife is spelled K-N-I-F-E, but the plural of this word is K-N-I-V-E-S. One knife, two or more knives.
That is very good to remember. Now let's look at today's use it sentence. This is the sentence. And you wait to eat until everyone gets their food. Let's try to use it.
Wait until the food is ready to eat. And wait until mom gets home to watch a movie.
Friends, like our use it sentence says, in the West, we wait until everyone has gotten their food at a restaurant to begin eating.
That's right. In the West, it's considered polite to wait to begin eating. And friends, even though table manners are different in Asia and in the Western world, it does not mean that one is better than the other.
Mr. Wei didn't wait, but he just needs to learn a little bit more about Western table manners. But let's find out more in Conversation C now.
Mr. Wei also didn't put his napkin on his lap.
Uh-oh. That's not good manners.
I know. And he used the wrong fork to eat his steak.
He also reached for things on the table. He didn't ask someone to pass them to him.
Mark can explain Western table manners to him.
I will.
And maybe he can explain Chinese table manners to us.
In Conversation C, we find out more ways manners in the West are different from Asia. Ken says Mr. Wei didn't put his napkin on his lap. There's another key word. Napkin. Napkin. When you are eating, a napkin is a piece of paper or tissue that you use to wipe and clean your face and hands.
That's right. You should always use a napkin so that you don't leave food on your face or your hands. And in the West, it is polite to put your napkin on your lap while you eat. If you don't, it is bad table manners.
Mark says Mr. Wei also used the wrong fork to eat his steak. In the West, we often use different forks to eat different kinds of food.
That's right, the forks are often a different size from each other. Now, Mr. Wei did one other thing wrong. Ken says he also reached for things on the table. Now, Nathan, we should probably learn about that key word.
You are right. Let's look at it together. Reach. Reach. When you reach for something, you put your hand out and try to grab it or hold on to it.
That's right. When you're sitting at a table, sometimes you need to reach for something because it is far away from you. But if you're eating in the Western part of the world, it's more polite to ask someone to pass it to you or give it to you.
But let's try to use this word, reach, in a different way. Sometimes you have to reach for things that are high up on shelves. You reach up to grab things.
That's right. Well, Nathan, we sure have learned a lot today about manners in the West. I had no idea that they were so different.
Yes, they are very different, and we hope that you learned a lot too, friends. But let's test how much you know and review today's key words together right now.
Say them with us. Steak. Steak. Let's eat steak. I love beef.
Knife. Knife. Use a knife and fork to eat your steak.
Western. Western. Fong doesn't understand Western culture.
Reach. Reach. Can you reach that high shelf?
Napkin. Napkin. Clean your fingers on your napkin. Good job, friends. I hope that these key words are useful for you and that you learned a lot about how to say them today. We're going to take a short break now, but we'll be right back.
Let's talk in English. 10 minutes every day. That's the way.
Thanks for coming back and joining us again, friends. Today, we have a game to play called 2
In 1. One more time, it's called 2
in 1. In this game, I will use 2 keywords in 1 sentence. Please tell me which keywords I used. Here is my sentence. Kim reached for the knife on the table.
Okay, Kim reached for the knife on the table. Well, I know that we learned one keyword today that was knife. So knife is one of the keywords. And, I think that the second keyword is reach. Reach and knife.
That's right. Reach and knife are both keywords today. I just wonder what Kim is going to do with the knife. Well, we should probably review today's conversations.
I had a good lunch today.
Did you eat with the reporter from China?
Wei Qiang? Yes, he's visiting again.
We ate at Sam's Steakhouse. Mr. Wei wanted a steak.
Sam's has good steaks.
Yes, and we enjoyed it. But someone needs to talk to Mr. Wei about his table manners.
I will, but I didn't want to embarrass him at lunch.
Are Western table manners very different from Chinese table manners?
Well, when you eat Chinese food, you use chopsticks.
And when you eat Western food, you use knives and forks.
That's right.
And you wait to eat until everyone gets their food.
But Mr. Wei started as soon as he got his food.
That isn't very polite.
No, it's not.
Mr. Wei also didn't put his napkin on his lap.
Uh-oh. That's not good manners.
I know. And he used the wrong fork to eat his steak.
He also reached for things on the table. He didn't ask someone to pass them to him.
Mark can explain Western table manners to him.
I will.
And maybe he can explain Chinese table manners to us.
Well, Ginger, what are you doing now?
I'm eating my lunch. It's really good.
Ginger, why didn't you wait for me to eat?
Well, I was hungry.
Ginger, you have really bad table manners.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
How can I have bad table manners? I don't have a table.
Well, that's true, but you still need manners.
Well, I do have manners.
Yes, bad manners. Do you use Western manners and Chinese manners?
No, I use jungle manners.
Well, that explains a lot.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Christina。LTE TV 电视台来了一位从中国来的访客，不过因为饮食文化的差异，可能有人需要跟他说明一下西餐的餐桌礼仪。Ken 觉得有人应该跟 Mr. Wei 说说西餐的餐桌礼仪。Someone needs to talk to Mr. Wei about his table manners。来学句型 ，talk to someone about something， 对某人说某件事。你可以说 I talked to him about the plan。我跟他说有关那个计划的事。She's talking to me about the exam。她正在跟我说有关考试的事。原来吃西餐的时候，应该等到所有的人餐点都到齐了，才一起开动，这样是比较有礼貌的。You wait to eat until everyone gets their food。句中的 until 是一个连接词，表示直到，它可以连接两个句子。你可以说 You can use the computer until he comes back。在他回来之前，你可以使用电脑，或者We will keep asking until she answers the question。我们会一直问，直到她回答问题为止。这位 Mr. Wei 没有等别人，他一拿到他的餐点就开始吃了。Mr. Wei started as soon as he got his food。句中的 as soon as 也担任着连接词的角色，连接两个句子，它是一怎么样就怎么样的意思。所以 as soon as he got his food 意思就是一拿到他的食物就怎么样。我们来看例句 We can start as soon as you arrive。 你一到我们就可以开始了。或者 She starts singing as soon as she hears the music。 她一听到音乐就开始唱歌。今天到底讲到了哪些西餐的餐桌礼仪？请你用英文复习一下吧。
E-Report.
Hi friends, this is Katie for E-Report. Guess where I am today? I am at Taroko Gorge. When you come to Hualien, you should visit this special place. Why is this place special? Well, let's find out. If you visit Hualien, you have to go to Taroko Gorge, Tailuga. People come here to enjoy the beautiful scenery and nature. This is a great place to enjoy fresh, clean air. Hualien is near the ocean, but it is also in the mountains, so it can rain here a lot. Much of the rain goes into the Liu River. The river cuts through the mountain rock and made Taroko Gorge. The rock is marble. So, Taroko Gorge is sometimes called the Marble Gorge. This took thousands of years. Many tourists come here and enjoy this beautiful place. They can see beautiful bridges and other special things. Some people like to hike in the mountains too, but you have to be careful. Rocks can fall from the mountains anytime. Other people enjoy driving the narrow roads through this area. Taroko Gorge is a great place to visit. Wow, this place is so beautiful. Taroko Gorge has so many things for visitors to see and do. They can go hiking, they can see nature, and in the summertime, they can take a boat out into the river. This is Katie for eReport, enjoying Taroko Gorge.
Calendar phrase.
That isn't very polite.
That isn't very polite.
那不太礼貌。I like to eat before everyone else.
That isn't very polite.
I like to make noise when I eat.
That isn't very polite.
And I like to burp.
Oh, that isn't very polite.
So, what do you like to do?
I like to be polite.
That isn't very polite.
That isn't very polite.
那不太礼貌。
There was so much to learn in today's lesson. There are many differences between table manners in Asia and table manners in the Western world. Katie, what's one difference?
Well, when you are in the West, you wait to eat until everyone gets their food. In Asia, you eat when your food is brought to you.
That is one difference. And in Asia, you use chopsticks to eat your food. That's another difference.
I remember that when I came to Asia, I didn't know how to use chopsticks at all. I could barely eat.
Yeah, it's hard to learn how to use chopsticks. We hope Ken learns how to use them soon. Friends, join us tomorrow. Rob has a special guest on his show. We'll see you then right here on
Let's Talk in English. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.